Let's turn to wide receivers. And we know who the headliners are. OBJ, Jarvis Landry, Donovan Peoples-Jones has drawn all eyes during this training camp. And the thought in mind is that Rashard Higgins will be part of the equation as well. It's beyond those top four where you start to discuss some of the options that the Browns are looking at. Who do you think is the safest outside of those four that they'll be that fifth or sixth receiver in the Browns depth chart?
Well, first of all, Anthony Schwartz is going to be making the football team. He 100% is going to be a key part of this offense going forward. He was picked, obviously, in the third round. And what he did in this training camp was he sort of added the element of improving hands to that tremendous speed that he has. And he was really coming along. He was coming up the learning curve very quickly. And that is going to be, the marching orders for him is to get those hands really solid. And this, again, we know the speed is there, but you can get behind that defense. And if you don't catch the ball, it just doesn't matter. So that was, what he was really working on, and he had come a really long way. The problem with Anthony Schwartz right now is that he has a little bit of a tweaked hamstring, and it was something that also bothered him in the spring. And when you've got a guy that runs like the wind, like he does, those hamstrings have got to be solid. You cannot have a gimpy hamstring and get out there and try to run a 4.2 in the 40. So not going to happen. But Anthony Schwartz, again, is somebody to keep an eye on if he can get back and start practicing again. And they're being a little cautious with him right now because, you really need to rest those hamstrings. But he's got a little ways to go, but he's coming up quickly.
Who could be the receivers fighting for that final spot?
Well, of course, you've got JoJo Natson is back this year from the torn ACL, but he's somebody that also returns kicks and does some other things. So it will be interesting to see how that works out. And then you've got Kadero Hodge. The coaching staff loves Kadero Hodge. He's very sound. He's fundamentally sound. He catches the ball really well, and there's just a lot to like about him. So I think he's somebody that will challenge really to make the team. I think he will make the team. And then, some of the other guys that are on the roster right now that, might end up sticking around on the practice squad or whatever the case may be would be, a Jamarcus Bradley, an Alexander Hollins. But for the most part, I think it's pretty well set what you're going to see there in the receiver room.